When the Nuggets went up by 20 points near the end of the third quarter, it felt like they had finally solved some of their issues and were going to let the Lakers know they wouldn't be getting beat at the buzzer again. But something clicked with the Lakers, and they gave us one of the most stunning 4-minute stretches of basketball we had seen in a playoff game, nearly erasing the entire lead. And that all means we got a fascinating game with lots of storylines that ultimately led the Nuggets getting back in this series. The Nuggets must have feared that the Lakers were going to come out early and try to end the game with one run. But the opposite happened, as Denver slowly began to take control of this game midway through the first quarter and didn't give up that control until the start of the fourth. In the interim, they built a 20-point lead due to a mix of clever offense and lethargic defense by LA. Mike Malone turned to horns a number of times with a double high post set, and the high post entry to Grant triggered flex action on the right side as Jokic patiently waits for Rondo and Kuzma to screw up this switch on the slice cut, enabling Michael Porter Jr. to get the layup. They run pistol action out of horns on this set as Murray gets the pin down from Grant into a handoff from Plumlee. Give credit to Caruso for hustling around, but Murray is just too good on this double pump 3-ball. Same action out of the out-of-bounds play, and this time Murray drives the ball at Dwight, using his body to protect the ball while shooting this tough off-foot lefty scoop. And in the third, Murray shows off his whole offensive package by turning the corner after the handoff and then putting LeBron in a very tough spot. He's got to cover the roll man, but also close out to Jokic to stop him from getting a good look from three. Murray elevates, stares at Jokic to lure LeBron out to the perimeter before throwing this beautiful no-look dime to Grant for the dunk. The Nuggets also targeted Kyle Kuzma on defense to take advantage of his deficiencies on this end. This physical back screen by Millsap guarantees a switch, allowing Jokic to eventually get down to the low block and abuse Kuzma down there with a nice spin move along the baseline. Really unclear why AD wouldn't go down and help there, and Jokic puts it in off the glass. In the third quarter, they ball screen with Kuzma's man, forcing him to have to guard Jamal Murray, who hits him with the behind-the-back dribble into step back from 14 feet. Again, Davis could have easily helped to contest this, but Murray knocks it down. You'll notice they attack Markieff Morris in the pick and roll, getting him all out of position as Murray blows by his terrible closeout. Give some credit for Kuzma to help out in the drive, but his contest is ineffectual. Jamal Murray led the team in scoring with 28 points last night. And if you're wondering where he honed his immense skills, both as a scorer and facilitator, it was at Point Guard College. PGC teaches players and coaches how to think the game. If you're tired of falling short of your potential and you want to discover how to be a playmaker and lead your team and run the show, there is no better place on the planet. Over 12,000 players and 1,500 coaches pour in from all over the world to attend PGC's camps each summer and fall. PGC also offers online courses for players and coaches, so go to pointguardcollege.com today to find a program for you. And you can make the defense look bad like Markieff Morris did to the Lakers defense, here getting unceremoniously boxed out by Plumlee. And while Kuzma forces a miss, LeBron can't grab the rebound on the other side, leading to the MPJ putback. Playing Morris at the center spot proved suboptimal, as they were able to involve both Kuzma and Morris in this pick and roll. Markieff doesn't realize it's a switch, and they give Monte Morris a wide-open 17-footer. This got a little weird after Morris drove baseline and forced Morris to pick him up. This left Rondo guarding Plumlee, so I get why Markieff wanted to scram switch him out of there, but look where the ball is. He can't just leave Monte all alone in the corner as Rondo wanders to the wrong side of the court. The Denver lead continues to build. As Murray and Jokic run the pick and roll to the left side, it's Morris who has to help on the roll man. He doesn't realize Danny Green is there to watch Millsap and doesn't react in time to contest the Jokic off-foot floater. A lot was made about Anthony Davis not getting a single rebound until there were 5 minutes left in the game. But let's look at why that was. First off, Denver shot 55% for the game, so there were simply less defensive rebounds for anyone to get in the first place. Where this would conceivably hurt you is if Denver was grabbing a ton of offensive rebounds and putting them back in the hoop. Well, 2 of their 9 total were on one play when Davis was on the bench. Hardly anything he could do about those. On this offensive rebound in the first, it hits off the back iron and goes long, requiring Jokic to stretch just to tap it out. That's not AD's fault. On the reset, JaVale is lost, and then allows himself to get leveraged under the hoop where Jokic puts it back in. Davis couldn't have done anything. At the very end of the second quarter, AD gets outworked for 2 offensive rebounds in a row. But since they don't lead to scores, does that even really matter? I say no. Here's the fake fundamental as AD is trying to box out his man who's not even going for the rebound. It's silly to turn your head and try and get connection to your man while the ball is in the air on its way to the hoop. You've got to go get the ball. As a result, Murray beats KCP and grabs the board right where AD would have been. However, Grant can't hit the open 3, so I don't think that play mattered at all. On this putback, AD had to rotate and contest the layup into a miss. It's too much to expect him then to be able to get the rebound as well. The Lakers gave up 0 offensive rebounds the last 15 minutes of the game time, so the whole criticism of AD's rebounding doesn't hold water and certainly wasn't a big factor in why the Lakers lost. In some ways, this would have been a devastating loss for the Lakers. A blowout after getting lucky in Game 2 with a distinct lack of defensive discipline and energy. However, they turned that all around in a crazy sequence early in the fourth. In what would have been an exclamation point for the Nuggets, this Murray throwdown somehow inspired the Lakers instead. Up by 17, LeBron trails the play and catches Grant and Craig switching, hitting the wide open 3, and suddenly the Nuggets are getting nervous. The first look on this out-of-bounds play is the AD duck-in. Good job by Grant to be physical and dissuade the pass. But the thought of it sucked Morris down enough to allow Caruso to attack the closeout right into the lane. Porter correctly rotates over and Murray is supposed to sink down but doesn't even move, and Kuzma gets the layup. While Grant might have been feeling it a little bit, it's fair to say this shot was a poor choice so early in the clock and so contested by AD. It was a surprise that Jokic didn't hand this off to Murray, thinking he saw an opening for Porter to attack LeBron, who closes out perfectly. Now watch how Rondo expertly sees Murray turn his back and jump to the ball. This is exactly the kind of aggressive and gambling defense needed to get your team back in the game, and LeBron's dunk cuts the lead to only 10. Frank Vogel goes zone here, a 1-3-1 alignment. However, watch how it quickly morphs into a man-to-man, completely confusing the offense until Caruso can just rip the ball away and into a 3-on-1 fast break. Davis chooses unwisely. He should have gone to Kuzma and they blow a big chance to cut the lead. The Lakers again show zone, but after 3 passes, they break back into a man-to-man, and no one will ever know if this was a lob or a shot. But at this point, because Porter didn't let the ball hit the rim, the basket is waved off as goaltending. The LeBron-AD pick and roll is rewarded with a nice floater over Jokic, and now the Nuggets are reeling with their 20-point lead shrunk to 8. Rondo again gets ultra aggressive on the steal, catching Murray not protecting the ball, and it leads to yet another LeBron dunk. Upon further review, the swipe was clean, but it looks to me like Rondo impedes Murray first before Murray then clamps Rondo's arm. Hard to imagine nothing got called in this scenario, and it's a 6-point lead. This looks like a 1-2-2 zone by the Lakers with Rondo at the point, but Rondo ends up guarding Jokic like it's man. Murray was never open, but he throws it anyway, and the Lakers force another turnover. Because they push the ball quickly, Porter has to pick up LeBron. There was no need for him to drop down off LBJ here, the penetration was already covered. And then he forgets he was guarding LeBron, or just didn't want to guard him, and runs alongside Murray to Rondo, leaving LeBron of all people wide open on the cut. The 1-2-2 zone seems to confuse the offense, with Jokic trying to make something happen along the high post, but no other movement. When he tries to execute their bread and butter handoff to Murray, the Lakers quickly go to man-to-man, and Murray fakes to go backdoor, allowing Rondo to gamble again for this steal and eventual 1 free throw. The Lakers did themselves no favors down the stretch by missing a wide-open 12-footer and wide-open 3-pointer. Meanwhile, Jamal Murray was putting his exclamation points all over this game. And I gotta tell you, I'm starting to feel like this Denver team can win the series. If they can survive a 30-point triple-double by LeBron and 27 by AD, and winning big for 36 minutes, then the Lakers had better be very concerned with their prospects going forward. Since if there ever was a team that knew how to come back from being down while playing better and better after each game, it's the Denver Nuggets. If you like this video, click the thumbs up button and leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more playoff breakdowns coming up. We'll have at least one a day during the postseason, so turn on those notifications so you can be alerted right away. You in?